laughter started soft like dry leaves rustling in the wind and sharpened into snickers, hushed whispers, the hiss of mockery. In the crowded military base visitor center, a woman sat alone. Her hands lay in her lap, curled tightly around the hem of a faded, olive green jacket. It hung off her shoulders like a memory tattered, out of place, and unmistakably old. Near her, two teenage recruits stood in crisp uniforms, gleaming boots, and a shared smirk. "Looks like she stole that from a thrift store dumpster," one muttered, loud enough to be heard. They chuckled too loud. The woman didn't flinch. She never did. But someone else noticed. Across the room, a silver-haired general paused mid. His eyes locked onto the back of the woman's jacket. His breath caught. In an instant, the room changed. Her name was Elise Rowan. She was nearly 70, living alone in a quiet rental house just outside Fort Brinry. Never talked about her past, not to neighbors, not to the nurse who stopped by monthly, not to the grocery clerk who always offered to help her with her bags. Just an old woman, invisible to most. But every Saturday, like clockwork, she boarded the 9:45 a.m. bus to the base. She never asked for anyone. She never said why. She just waited. She always wore the same jacket. Olive canvas, frayed seams, a missing collar button, and on the sleeve a half-torn patch. Its colors faded, but its symbol still visible, a falcon diving through a bolt of lightning. Underneath, just 3 cryptic letters, OSR. Most people ignored it, except a few bold recruits who dared each other to approach. One finally did. His name was Denton Young, eager and loud. He strutted toward her, voice dripping with sarcasm. "Mom," he said, "this area's for military families and personnel only." She didn't respond. He snorted. That jacket wouldn't pass inspection in a soup kitchen. More laughter. Boots stopped. The general was standing there, not just watching, staring. "Where did you get that?" he asked, voice hard. Denton blinked. "What, sir?" "That patched," the general said. But now his tone had changed. It wasn't anger, it was reverence. Elise slowly raised her head. Her eyes met his, clouded with age, but unflinching. "You were OSR," he whispered. She nodded, just once, and then the general, a decorated legend on Bastuka, stepped back. His voice dropped. "Everyone out." The recruits scattered. No one questioned the command. Elise remained seated, still as stone. The general approached her like a man stepping toward a ghost. "They told us the whole OSR unit was lost in '79, he murmured. Her voice came soft, smoky. "We weren't lost. We were buried. And for the first time in decades," Elise spoke. She told him what no one else had ever heard. How she was dropped behind enemy lines, alone, no backup. How she delivered intel that saved hundreds of lives. How she was captured, tortured, presumed dead. How she survived 14 months in a prison camp, was finally traded back, and then erased. For national security, the jacket was all that remained. The general sat beside her, not as a superior, as a soldier before a monument. "Why didn't you come forward?" he asked. "I did," she said. "Eventually, I stopped trying." He stood, saluted, not from duty but from debt. "You were a ghost in our files," he said, "but you're a giant in our history." The following Saturday, Elise returned to the base. But this time, no one laughed, no one whispered. At the entrance, a line of recruits stood at attention. Denton was at the center, holding a folded American flag and a bouquet of lilies. His voice trembled. "We didn't know. We're sorry." Behind him, mounted on the wall, was a photo young Elise in full uniform, her eyes fierce with purpose. The plaque below read, "Elise Rowan, Operation Silent Raptor, service without recognition." Then at the young soldiers. Her smile was faint but real. Some heroes wear medals, others wear silence, some carry their stories in books. Elise carried hers in scars, and a forgotten patch, until one man remembered. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe.